Hi, it's Ann Weiser Cornell, and this is Support for Stressful Times. It's August 2024. Our times are a roller coaster for me, up and down, and that can be stressful, right? In fact, right here at the start, when we're just saying hello to each other, how about a little pause to sense how you are right now? And pausing and sensing is really the key skill of navigating stressful times because we need our bodies with us. And even if what you're going to find in your body is something stressful, it isn't going to do any good to ignore it. Hello makes more sense. So pausing right now, sensing, bringing awareness inside. Inside meaning throat, chest, stomach, belly. Here I am. And feeling your breath, feeling your body, feeling your presence, feeling your here I am. You can even say that to yourself inside. I am here. I am here. Beautiful. What I'm finding in myself right now is a sense of excitement. And I guess I'll say that 6 days ago, the new book of me and Barbara McGavin was launched. It came out, it hit the stands, it was available to buy. Here it is, Untangling How You Can Transform What's Impossibly Stuck. What's going on in me about that is a kind of excitement that verges on tension. And I felt more scattered, felt more distracted. It's a little more difficult to concentrate. Noticing how even in good times, right, when things are happening that you wanted for a long time, there can be body feelings that might even be uncomfortable about that. So that kind of is my theme for today. And that is, navigating stressful times, including times of uncertainty, times of not knowing, when you don't know, when you hope, when you would love it to turn out a certain way, and you just don't know. Uncertainty. Yeah, does that feel true to you? Uncertainty can be a lot of what is stressful about stressful times. And we're pausing together, we're pausing to sense. Maybe notice, are you feeling uncertain about something going on in your life? Maybe you have a symptom or a health condition, and you really hope it gets better or that you can live with it well. And there's uncertainty about that. Maybe you're in a time of life transition. You're switching to some different way of living. Uncertainty about how that's going to turn out. People have some uncertainty. Want to tell us about that in the chat? David writes, I'm feeling a softening and a rise of joy in the collective consciousness. Ah, yes. I think I might know what you're talking about. Hope has returned. Yeah. So in the world of anything that interests us, including the political world, the economic world, there can be uncertainty, and then there can be hope. But even in hope, there's uncertainty, isn't there? Yeah. I had an interesting experience recently. I'll tell you this story because it is about my theme of uncertainty. I was recently co-leading an in-person retreat in Loveland, Colorado. So we were doing 2 6-day retreats with 2 days free in between the 2 6-day retreats. So we were near the end of the first 6-day retreat. Beautiful place, the Sunrise Ranch in Loveland, Colorado. beautiful vistas, beautiful walks. Only one thing wrong. Well, from my point of view, the point of view of comfort, there was only one thing wrong. They didn't have actual air conditioning, and it's pretty hot in Colorado in August. So 95-degree temperatures, that's if you're in Europe, 35. That was okay though. We were doing okay, staying in the shade, keeping the shades rolled down. And then, second to last day of that first 6-day retreat, we walked out of the meeting room, walked toward the dining hall, and a plume of smoke rising up into the sky. What is going on? Turns out a wildfire had just started 20 miles away, a little too close for comfort. And within an hour, we were being evacuated. We had to leave. Here's this world we live in these days, this increasingly stressful world for that reason, that there are more weather disasters, weather emergencies. This is the closest that I had ever been to one, though. And here I am, workshop leader. The group kind of organized itself to get to safety. 13 people, 4 cars among us, got to safety, landed somewhere. And I have to tell you the truth, I was feeling really stunned. I wasn't feeling like a leader. I just was in a state of shock, really. And the best I could do was accompany that feeling inside me and just pay attention and wait and see. And within about 5 hours, the group had organized. I think I just have to give credit to the people in the group that weren't feeling stunned, evidently, or that what they did with being stunned was something more active than what I could do. And we got ourselves into an Airbnb, one for that next 3 nights and one for the whole second workshop, that was beautiful, comfortable, and air conditioned. Sometimes it happens that you go through a ton of uncertainty and you land somewhere that's the same or better as the place you were before. And yet there's no knowing, right? I'm not going to be foolishly optimistic and tell you that things always turn out for the best. I don't think they do. But when they do, I'm grateful. Feeling grateful right now for that experience because it showed me a lot more about the abilities and capabilities of a group of good-hearted people working together, supporting each other. That leaves me with a very joyful feeling. So that's what's been going on for me, that, and of course, my book. I have to show it to you again. Some people in the chat are saying that they found it wonderful or finding it wonderful. Day before the launch of this book, how's it going to do? Maybe nobody will buy it, you know. Part of that is an anxious, fearful part of us, the one that gives these catastrophe feelings, like maybe nothing will happen, maybe no one will come, maybe it will all fizzle and go to nothing. And then last weekend, 2 days after the book came out, I had a book signing in my backyard. Maybe no one will come. There were so many people there, we ran out of chairs. And, you know, uncertainty means we don't know. So that's just something I want to bring you today, is how to be present during uncertainty. I do think there's a lot of stuff that's uncertain these days. Let's see what people are writing in the chat. Barb says, I can usually see 10 miles in front of me, and now I feel I can see only a foot in front of me. Ah, yeah, that sounds stressful. There's some sense of stability if we can see our track farther in the future. And then what comes to my mind is, there I was at the first retreat center, thinking I'd be there for another 9 days. that was me seeing into the future. I could see 9 days into the future at this nice, comfortable place with the swamp coolers instead of real air conditioning, and had to wave your fan all the time, but the food was great and it was very comfortable. Well, okay, unexpected things can happen. And what do we have with us when unexpected things happen? We have our bodies. We have the fact that we can pause and sense and accompany how we feel. David writes, I felt uncertain about installing solar at my home because of the huge investment. Yeah, can imagine. And despite my commitment to the idea of creating rather than just consuming electrical energy, I decided to let that go and let it go to some future date. And that feels good. Yeah. So it's interesting. Times of uncertainty can mean that we need to make choices. And making choices is another thing that's helped by being in our bodies and pausing. And I'm imagining that as David sensed his two options, go ahead and make that big financial commitment to solar energy or not do it right now, there's a sense of how each one feels in the body. And then, of course, a body sense after the decision is made. And Haja says there's a part in her that wants to be acknowledged right now. A tummy crampy feeling about not knowing. Yeah, yeah. There's always something we don't know, isn't there? And stressful times have more. And therefore, what do we have with us in stressful times that, well, I could say we can be sure about? I can be sure I have a body. I can be sure that my body is resting on this chair right now. I can be sure I have breath. And my sensing of how my body feels, Haja, you can sense the tummy crampy feeling. Be with that. That's what we have. That's what we know we have, is the ability to be with how we feel. There was a time in my life when pretty much all my life was organized around not feeling stuff. The behaviors I did, the ways I organized my mind. That was a time when I was drinking a lot of alcohol. It's like something inside here was like, don't know, don't tell. And I don't blame myself for that. I don't shame myself for that. I did the best I could, but I'm so glad that now I'm where I am, where I trust my body and my body's process. I trust these tight, tense feelings. They are not trying to hurt me. They're not my enemy. They're trying to knock on my door. They got something they want to say to me. Hello, hello. Maybe they just want to say that they are scared. Maybe you have parts of you inside that are saying, I'm scared. And maybe like a parent with a child, maybe you give a gentle hug to the place that says, I'm scared. Imagine doing that. Something inside says, I'm scared. Yeah, yeah, sweetie, I know you're scared and I'm with you. I'm here. I'm right here. I don't believe in saying it's going to be okay. Can if you want to. But in my system, the trouble with saying it's going to be okay is who knows, right? Who knows? And our parts, our feelings, and they're very sensitive to being lied to or being not just lied, but I don't know, shined on, like told things that one can't know for sure. That's a kind of reassurance. It isn't actually reassuring. What can we say that's true to these scared places inside? I am here with you. I get how scared you're feeling, and I am here with you. That's true. Haja says, retiring in my 80s leaves the gap of who am I? Mm. and the future doesn't look positive. So I bet that brings a body feeling. Maybe that's the crampy body feeling you were talking about. Something scared about the future. And notice we can go two ways with a feeling of scared about the future. We could say, well, I think there's three ways actually. So scared about the future, something scared about the future. Don't worry, it's going to be okay. I've already told you I don't recommend that because, you know, it doesn't address the question. The question is scared about the future, knowing it's not certain that it's going to be okay. Well, the other way we could go is to get swallowed up in that, to just believe the future is awful. But that also doesn't address the uncertainty. Sometimes I've seen people so unsettled by uncertainty that they go to the certainty of a negative, like it's sure to be awful. It's definitely not going to go well. You see, that's how uncomfortable uncertainty can be. It's something in us would prefer to be certain about doom than to stay at that edge where it might be awful, it might be in the middle, it might be super great. The wildfire is coming toward me. I've got to run, got to get out of here. I left my suitcase behind. Maybe I'll never get my stuff back. I will never get my stuff back. This is not going to go well. See, that is a kind of retreat to the certainty of things not going well. Don't recommend that either. It's understandable, but let's not do that. Lily writes, I spend time with something in me that's dreading the election and offer it company and empathy. Yeah. An election coming up in the future, nobody knows. It's a lot of uncertainty there. So we can go to, it's going to be awful. We can go to, it's going to be great. Or we can stay with the feeling and trust the feeling. There's a kind of trust involved in your body, in your breath, in your feelings. And your feelings also begin to trust you. What's that like? In other words, you are the one who can be with your feelings. And by showing up, maybe you can put a gentle hand there. Maybe you can say inside, yes, I'm here with you. That increases the inner trust in you, Yeah. Catherine in Santa Fe is here today. I know you've been through a time of uncertainty. Maybe you're in your new house by now or your new living place. That's probably still uncertain and hard. Yeah. Allison writes, something in me is very unsure about my body after illness. It's hard to adjust to. Uh-huh. Yeah. So you are sensing that it's hard to adjust to your body after illness. And you're being with that sense inside of my body now is different from how it was before the illness. And there's uncertainty about how long that will last and worry about it. And you can be with that. You can be with that. Catherine wants me to say again, Catherine L., what am I saying we can do when we have the discomfort of uncertainty? Yeah. So here's my method. If you feel the discomfort of uncertainty, first of all, good for you because you're already feeling something. You haven't blocked out all feeling. You're feeling discomfort. I like that phrase, the discomfort of uncertainty. And you find it in your body, right? Maybe it's here, maybe it's here. Maybe it's down in the stomach. Mine often comes in my stomach. Could be anywhere. And then you be with that. Like, I'm not trying to change it. I'm not running from it. I'm not pushing it away. I'm not trying to figure it out or solve it. If I'm doing any of those things, I say hello to that too. Hello to the discomfort. Hello to something in me that's trying to get rid of it or solve it. I am here with all of that. So this I am here, such a beautiful phrase. You're saying it to the feeling. I am here with you. I sense you as you are. And we're not going to say it's going to be okay, but we might say it's okay to feel this way. It's okay. It's understandable. No wonder. No wonder my stomach is tight. No wonder this place feels scared. Things are uncertain right now. I get it. I hear it. I could feel that breath come in me right there. Yeah. When you get that deeper breath, there's a positive, there's a comfort in that, even though the uncertainty is still here. Yes. Allison writes, I have found it easier to be with the illness uncertainty and now function some more since starting that practice. That's so great. So that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about stressful times. We're talking about uncertainty. We're talking about not being able to see very clearly, very far ahead of us. And what happens in those times of uncertainty. And pausing to sense, what do I feel right now that I can rest on? I think that's really important. And right now, you can probably feel your body resting on what you're sitting on, maybe standing or lying on. And let yourself be held by what you're sitting or standing on. And then bring awareness to your body. How is it here right now? Just wanted to say what comes to my mind again is how for hours after this shocking experience of being evacuated out of a place we thought we were going to be able to stay, not only not knowing what we were going to do that night, but not knowing what we were going to do with our second workshop. And I know part of me is not proud of my reaction. I didn't swing into action. I didn't say, okay, I'm the leader. I just was stunned. And I can say though, that I stayed with that feeling of stunned. And I stayed alert to what was going on around me. And when one of the amazing participants in our group found an amazing place to be, I said, okay, we're doing that. Oh, Catherine in Santa Fe, not in my new place. Oh, surrounded by disruption of the home of 22 years. So much uncertainty. Yet here we are. And today is precisely what I need to be reminded of, what I can rely and reset upon as I bring awareness to my body. Thanks so much. Oh, thank you for sharing your story. I can't imagine how disruptive that must be to know you're moving, but not have moved yet and be surrounded by packing boxes and things you probably have to let go of because you're moving to a smaller place. And you're still saying, here I am. I can feel my body present here and now. Yes. Very nice. I have to say that one person wrote in the chat, they thought I had a Mr. Rogers kind of energy. Feels so good to hear that. Yes. I am a person who enjoys life, and I am a person who sometimes feels discouraged, depressed, especially when I wake up first thing in the morning. It's not as good as I'm going to feel all day. My body is stiff. My mind feels kind of cloggy and yeah. So I'm here to tell you, I am not always an optimistic, cheerful person. And what helps is to be with how it is. To be with how it is. And when you do that, you become the one who can be with how it is. And something starts to change very gradually, not because it should change or has to change, but because you are here. It's really being present to yourself and your life. And this is specifically how to do that. Well, that person writes, Mr. Rogers wasn't always cheerful. He played piano when he was sad. Okay, thank you for that reminder. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And Allison asks, I find myself over empathic. So I take things on board. I get swamped. What else can I do about that? So you are aware that something in you is over empathic, or something in you is quite empathic, we could say. And notice this language of something in me that helps you be present to what you're feeling. So something in me is so aware of the other person's feelings that it sort of moves over toward them, gets drawn in to what's going on for that other person, is hyper aware of what they are going through. And then you can be with that one in you that has some good reason from its point of view for being that aware of other people. You might be somebody who needs to practice boundaries, and boundaries simply mean protection. They're a way to say, here I am, that's different from you. You might need to physically remove yourself and have times in your day when you're really alone. So knowing what you need, because you're not supposed to be like everybody else. You know, there's some people who aren't affected by other people that way. Everybody's different. You discover about yourself what you need in the day. Might be a little extra time of being alone, and just giving yourself some space from other people around you. It's your job to take care of that, to make sure you've got that. Wonderful. Thank you so much to everybody who came today. Thank you for the hearts that you're sending me. I love being with you too. Remember, uncertainty is something to be with. Bye for now.